Okay, hey everyone. I'm Distro. I am going to run Tom Clancy's Splinter Chaos Theory today, and I am joined in co-commentary by Director Music.
Hello, hello.
And this is the third game in the series, and the run will start after I interact with the level loading screen. So, timer starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thanks. So, this is Chaos Theory. We are introduced by a little parkour type of gameplay. You're just introduced to the gameplay, basically. You can roll, you can crawl into spaces like this one. And we'll get to the first enemies right away. This is a stealth action game, but we, in the speedrun, are more action than stealth, I would say. And we start right away by shooting two guards that are around the corner here. There we go. And in this game, unlike the first two, you can get up to 4 alarms, but the mission doesn't fail if you get it. And over here, I took a shot to make a technician run away, and I do a YOLO run here. I just run past these two guards, and it's likely to die here, so that's why I did a quick save. Just an RNG heavy strategy. Where this technician ran away and opened this door. This door is actually locked, but when he opens it, we save time because we don't have to open it ourselves. And there's also RNG here. There's a guy that can potentially shoot me. Okay, it didn't happen. That's good. I will access a computer here, and whenever I access a computer in this game, it is better to have one of the goggles on. Like this is the night vision, and this is the thermal vision. And this is nice because it skips a bit of saves a bit of time because it skips some animation. Now over here, you can destroy that blowtorch, which opens this secret passage to the lighthouse, which is slightly faster than the regular route. And in this game, you can quick load to skip dialogue while it's running, like in the first two games. And I will get a dialogue skipping here. And this will give you an objective because you're supposed to just listen to dialogue or interrogate the guard or search the file cabinet. But we skip the first two lines, so we get the relevant line and we whistle to cancel it, and it still counts the objective as completed. And now over here, at the end of Lighthouse, I will use an airfall round on this guard, which we'll explain later, and that's the end of the level. Yeah, there's a lot going on, I know. And this is cargo ship, and at the beginning, if I do the movement correctly, I will get a small bug where the guard in the bottom of the stairs will not load in correctly. And he's blind, he's just facing the wall, and he's reacting to sound, but he's not actually shooting anything, like not at me at least. And I will hand over the commentary to Director for a bit. He can talk about the objectives and what we need to complete in any person speedrun.
Yeah, so in any percent, of course, the main objective is to reach the end credits as fast as possible. There are many other variations to, well, only one in particular variation to any percent, which is no QSQL, which is not what we're going to be doing here because quick save, quick loading will be used quite a lot for some of the most crucial moments. And ideally, you know, if you're going for 100%, let's say, you would have to complete all of the objectives, and there are two types of objectives. There are the main objectives and the side objectives. And in order to complete the level, you have to, you don't really have to care about the side objectives at all. You just need to do what, you know, what is considered to be a main objective, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing throughout the entirety of this any percent speedrun. And overall, I would say that these first two levels are a good indicator of how the entire speedrun will go. You know, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of interaction with NPCs, or manipulation of NPCs, I would say. And you just saw here, Distro did a quick save, quick load, which skipped a particular dialogue that allowed him to go through those doors. Yeah, so as you can see, he just completed an objective which required Sam to read the bill of lading. It is actually considered to be a main objective, and he couldn't skip it because the mission wouldn't be you wouldn't be allowed to complete the mission otherwise. And Yeah, but for example, there are some other side objectives like reading some ship logs or something like that, which you can do if you want the 100% rating, but this is a speedrun. We don't have time for that. We have only time to be speedy and stealthy.
I was
Or
in the
not.
previous room I just came from. I wasn't allowed to shoot or make the enemy shoot because it will blow up everything because there's a lot of gas. Even sticky shockers will trigger the gas and the mission will fail instantly. That's why I use airflow rounds instead, and it knocks enemies out. But the airflow rounds are a bit weird in this game. They're a bit inconsistent, but I think they're probabilistic. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that, I guess. But I think the chances of knocking out an enemy increase depend on where you hit them. Like higher up in the body and torso is more likely to knock them out. Especially headshot is 100% likely. Yeah, stick shockers are always preferable. Like here, for instance, where I have to take out the NPC as a mission objective. And now we go to the end of the level.
And what is funny in this occasion is that for some reason the game considers sticky shockers to count as a kill because you're supposed to take down lethally Lacerda here. But apparently sticky shockers are enough. The game says, you know, you've done your thing. It's okay. You can use sticky shockers, and that's exactly what we use. And also you saw Distro interrogate that captain very, very quickly. It is done by having the interaction bind set to the mouse wheel, and that allows him to basically interact frame perfectly.
Alright, now we're entering the bank building, and you saw this main door I just came through. It closes if you get an alarm, and this only happens if you're at the bottom floor, like the floor I am in. If you get an alarm here, or outside, the door will close, I think. I'm not sure about the outside part, but I think it will close as well. So
yeah, I think it does.
I avoided the camera on purpose to keep the door open, so I can go back at the end of the level through that same door and save a bit of time over another route. And you can see, a lot of times I just run past enemies in this game. That's just the beauty of Splinter speedrunning across all the games, I believe. And over here, I do a small trick. First I have to access panel there as a mission objective, which will open the access to the vault. And I shot after that, like I shot before accessing the panel, sorry, which lured this guard to basically run towards me and open the door for me, and it was a keypad locked door. And because of that, I saved quite a bit of time. Now, I also accessed the second security panel, access panel, I don't know what they're called actually. And there's a third one here, and this will open the access, it will give me access to the vault. I bash open the door and knock out this guy. That's a cool mechanic in Chaos Theory. Like, I bash it open, and if there's a guard on the other side, it will get knocked out. And you saw there was a guard on my left, or maybe you heard it. And this is actually a new trick. Usually I used to sticky shock him. Whoops, I'm stuck here. That was interesting. I used to sticky shock him, but recently it was found that there's a fast strat if you don't do that. And he should come down later. So this is a lockpicking sequence, a special one. Director, you want to explain this one?
Yeah, so if you're familiar with Splinter Cell, there's the lockpicking mechanic where you can lockpick locked doors. However, this is a special objective where you have to, well, the premise is that you're basically lockpicking two locks at the same time. So whenever Distro unlocks one of the pins, he has to wait for a little bit so that, you know, it synchronizes. And if you try and lockpick earlier than you're able to, everything will reset and you will have to do it all over again. And I think when Distro mentioned, you know, these new optimizations, it really tells about how optimized this game is. I think out of all Splinter Cells, this one is probably the most heavily optimized. You know, every millisecond, I would say, for the most part, counts. So, you know, Distro is going to have to be very careful about what he's doing and the routes that he's going to take in order to have a fast and successful time.
All right, now we accessed the vault room, and we fulfilled our objective. Now we have to go back to the beginning of the level and exfiltrate. So one cool thing about Chaos Theory, there are multiple routes to do the same objectives. And it feels more open because you just have the map as a whole and you go through your objective instead of like doing one objective after another. You have a bit of free choice of how you want to approach things, and I think that's really nice in Chaos Theory.
Yeah, I wish they would have done that for the earlier games as well, but I think this is yet another reason why a lot of people remember Chaos Theory the most fondly out of the first three.
Alright, so the beginning of Penthouse is a bit RNG heavy, but they didn't spot me, so that's good. And this guard is blind for some reason for the first few seconds. Doing a small jump up here. Come on, here we go.
There we go.
In the casual playthrough, we can wait for the elevator to start working again, but that takes forever. In the speedrun, we just go up the ladder and then the elevator starts at some point, and we go back down to the elevator, which is still faster than going up the ladder entirely.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that we take the ladder and that's faster than the actual elevator.
Yeah.
Now here, what Distro is going to do is he switched to an alternative attachment to his SE20K, and that is a sniper. And what he's going to do is, at a very precise point, he's going to shoot the sniper. There we go. Which will attract the attention of one of the guards, and hopefully he will move out of the way so we can just proceed through without stopping or interacting. Yeah, there we go. And it's a very precise trick that sometimes does not want to work, but usually if that works, it saves a bit of time. And also, if I may, I can quickly touch on attachments and loadouts as well.
Yeah, but can you first explain the shot I just took here?
Yeah, so basically this shot that Distro just took on that billboard basically works in the same way. Snipers are very, very loud, and enemies hear it from a very big distance. And since that guard was distracted, he dropped his flare, which allowed Distro to just very quickly pass through without being detected. And in fact, there's just a weird mechanic where the guards just drop their flares when getting scared or something. So yeah.
You can explain attachments and stuff.
Yeah, of course. So in this game, there's a very cool and an exclusive edition, which is loadouts. So when you start any level, you're given the option of choosing your loadout. There are usually three. There's Redding's Recommendation, there is Stealth, and Assault. Redding's Recommendation is basically a balanced version of having both attachments and also more aggressive options that you can take. Stealth emphasizes the use and gives you more non-lethal attachments and things to accompany a stealthy playstyle. And Assault just basically gives you the most ammo and the least amount of attachments, and that's why we never use it at all. But it's cool that the game allows you to choose the style of gameplay that you want. And here, Distro will throw a flashbang to... Okay, yeah, that was... Sometimes these guards are very immune to flashbangs, but the idea here is that Distro used that moment to approach the guard and quickly interrogate him by using the mouse wheel. And then he's going to proceed further to complete one of the main objectives.
Also noting that I close and open those doors so they stay open forever. It's a small glitch you can use, which is really convenient for the speedrun. Otherwise it will automatically close after a while.
Yeah, and I think it's exclusive to these doors only as well. I don't think it's
yeah, in the
speedrun
it only matters in this level.
Yeah. Also, this Dvorak sequence that Distro just entered is always the same, so you just have to memorize it. And in fact, it's also the same with keypad codes as well. It's another form of locked doors. So all Distro has to do is just memorize or write down the keypad codes somewhere, and he'll be good to go. And that's actually a wrap on the Displaced level.
Penthouse,
and,
yeah.
Sorry, Penthouse, yeah. But we're entering Displaced, so yeah, I was just thinking ahead one step,
Yeah, happens. So I throw a smoke grenade here to distract these guards. And while he's coming close to the door, I'm equipping the sticky shocker, and then the smoke grenade actually covers me really well in this game. It's kind of broken. Whenever you're in the smoke, they just, even if they're right in front of you, they just can't shoot you correctly and they don't see you correctly. It's really weird. And another fun fact, which I think a lot of people don't know, when you're in a smoke grenade and the mine explodes like a wall mine, for instance, it actually doesn't damage you at all. It's kind of a weird glitch.
Yeah, and also another, I would say, fun glitch is like tied to movement. But I'm gonna explain that a little bit later. Right now, what we see Distro do is where we see him do a very dangerous approach to this objective, I would say, where he just dropped down into the conference room and abused the very short side of the guards. And you also saw him do hacking very, very quickly. It's going to happen again, so I'm going to quickly explain as that approaches. So basically, hacking in this game is kind of random. Well, it is random because you need to get the correct sequence of like numbers to complete the hack, and the position of the correct sequence is always random. But since it's tied to the interaction bind, what Distro can do is just scroll down his mouse wheel at, you know, basically frame perfect speed, and he eventually gets it in no time, which is going to come in handy in a couple of other places as well in the run.
Doing a bunch of dialogue skips, which will open this door early, and then I take a shot for, which will make these NPCs stand still for a few seconds. I can just roll past them, they don't see me. Then I go to the elevator and make my way to the next level. Fun fact, if you can somehow, without cheating, go to the top level of this level, you can actually skip everything, because all you need is a PC at the end. And then you can go to the ending. But yeah, there's no way to do that we know of. Theoretically, the whole lower levels are completely useless in terms of objectives. Normally, yeah, I manipulate these guys, but I forgot to do that. But it's fine. I just sticky shock them instead. And yeah, director, go ahead.
Yeah, I just remembered because I get this in this location frequently. If you're familiar with Pandora Tomorrow's alarm system, with every higher alarm level, you get changes in gameplay. So, for example, in Chaos Theory, on I think level 2 they get, or level 3 they get helmets. On level 4 there are extra guards and barricades and so on. So sometimes it's actually better for the speedrun, and it's faster to be a little bit more stealthy if possible.
You just saw me YOLO past that guard at the beginning. The safer strat is to sticky shock him, but it saves, I think, almost 2 seconds over the other strat, who just run past him. This is a bit scary, because at the end of the level I have to go back to the beginning of the level to finish, and the guard is still there. So, even though this is a marathon, I'm doing a riskier strat, but I will have a save state, so I'm not too worried in case it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and I would say that Hokkaido here is probably the most movement-based level. It's also one of the shorter ones. But, you know, the main idea here is that you're always on the move and always dealing with certain sections and enemies as well. And here you will see Distro enter the vent. And after he exits the vent, he will have to hit a very precise sticky shocker. Which will allow him to go further.
Another thing, we're supposed to take out a specific NPC, and he's in the meeting room, but we skipped that meeting room. A lot of people don't know that if you skip the meeting room and continue the level, Mile and Nedic, the NPC we have to take out, will actually come back at the end of the level, and that saves quite a lot of time over the other strat.
Yeah, and it's the same as with Lacerda. If you, you know, you're supposed to take him out lethally, but again, just using the sticky shocker counts as a kill, and it's actually also much safer and faster to do it that way as well. Now here we have a bit of a plot twist. We have to start chasing Shetland. However, surprise, surprise, we are a little bit late, no matter how fast you are. But fear not, we can do the final objective here. We're going to surprise Nedic with a bit of a zap, a bit of a shocking endeavor. And with that out of the way, Distro proceeds to exit here in that aforementioned scary area where the guard is still around. but it looks like he did it with Breeze, and now it's time for Battery.
Alright, so Battery is one of the levels where I use the stealth loadout. I actually have to cycle down during the menu, but this happens so fast you don't actually see it in the video footage. But the reason I take the stealth loadout in this level is because it gives me more sticky shockers and alpha rounds. And I have a foregrip attachment which makes my shots more precise, and that's going to be important when I get to an elevator later, and we'll get to that section soonish in like 2 minutes or so, I believe. There's 2 guards sleeping here, but if I just turn down my speed by 1, I can just casually walk through and they don't hear me. And this is actually a funny part here. This is Naya manipulation in a way. I shoot a sticky cam, and these 2 guards are like... Oh, wait, let me try it again. That didn't work. They're like... oh, what is that? And then they just shoot it, which is a genius idea. And then the gas is released and they take themselves out like that.
Yeah, and also one thing I can, I guess, mention here already, because it kind of impacts this shot as well. Basically, there are a few objectives, like, let's say, computers and other terminals, as well as the sticky cameras, that you can access and get out of much faster only when you have night vision or thermal vision or any other vision. But basically, if you have your goggles turned on, you can interact with computers frame perfectly, as well as with attachments like sticky shockers. So when you will see Distro do the elevator trick, you will see him turn on his night vision for that as well. And basically, how the elevator trick works is, first of all, Distro will shoot a sticky camera that will be waiting for a guard later on, and by touching the doors here in just the right way, Distro can actually make those doors close much faster than they normally would. And of course, this saves a lot. I don't think it saves like a mass amount of time, but it's definitely something that you should want to do if you want to get a a fast time here. And you also saw him switch to the foregrip. As Distro mentioned, foregrip makes your gun shoot much more accurately. We also see the frame perfect mouse wheel hacking that I explained a little bit earlier in Displace. And basically, you're supposed to listen to the conversation here with like a captain and his subordinates. But of course, what we do is we skip the entire dialogue with dialogue skipping by quick save quick loading. And that allows Distro to quickly get back into the elevator and be done with this objective in pretty much no time. Yeah, that was my very quick but hopefully helpful guide to the elevator trick.
This is scary because I didn't get the objective dialogue, so this might have failed.
Oh, you didn't get Grimm's daughter?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I guess I'll do backup strat then, which is just taking everyone out and then getting the PC.
Yeah, so while Distro is doing that, I'll explain that some main objectives have different ways of completing them. So, for example, here, Distro could have listened to either the dialogue between the captain and or general and his subordinates, or he can access a certain PC that contains the same information that is needed to complete the objective. So there's also a bit of that choice element that you can have in your gameplay, which it's a cool gameplay addition, but it's also a very nice thing to have as backup in case things go wrong. And it's inevitable that sometimes things do take a different turn. But luckily, Distro knows his backups, and we're right back where we left off.
Yeah, I could also just see the difference between the two strats. This is significantly slower, but that's fine. I mean, it's marathon luck, I guess. Yeah, now the thing is open. And in the next room, I have to access the BIOS of... I don't know what that thing is. What is that, actually? Do you know?
It's missile launching, like, site thing. I don't know.
Yes, that. We have to access the BIOS of exactly that. And we have to open the casing by manipulating the thing I just interacted with. And there's no manipulation here. You see a lot of those in every Splinter speedrun, really. But we were spotted on purpose at the beginning. He was like, "Oh, what is that?" He's going to check it out, and because of that, I don't have to interact with him because I can just roll past him, and it's the decent time save instead of having to like knock him out or like sticky shock him or anything else. Now over here, there is a guard that is going to open the door, and his timing is completely random. So let's see what happens.
What do I do?
He's kind of slow today, but it's fine. And there's another guard here, which I shoot down. He doesn't annoy me later when I have to come back. And I have to... well, the story is I have to stop the missile launch that is happening. Yeah, and I have to go to this room for that. There are 3 guards, 2 to the left, and the other one is randomly positioned. But he's standing up just now. Okay, we're fine. Just have to access this PC. And then backtrack, and then backtrack again. Basically, the next PC I access will be the last mission objective. And after that, I have to exfiltrate. And there are 2 places where I can exfiltrate. The first one is where the missile casing launchy thing was. I don't know what it's... The thing, you know? Where we open the casing. The missile thing. And the second place is where I just came from, and this is way closer. So in the speedrun, obvious choice, we go exfiltrate through here.
Yeah,
and I'm going to... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, like you mentioned AI manipulation and how prevalent it is. It's very comically easy to do on the easier difficulties because, as you may have noticed, most of the guards are either very blind or very deaf or just unaware of things around them. And it's very easy to do things with that to, you know, manipulate them. But yeah, here we have Soul Part 1. There are actually 2 parts to this level, and the first thing Distro has to do is to interrogate one of these guys here to get some important information. And as I said, the other guard is just unaware of anything that's happening around him, and we can easily just get away unscathed at all. And now here, Distro equipped a smoke grenade. He will check it at that flashing billboard, and it will also land in just the right way so that it conceals Sam as he's approaching the door here. One thing that sometimes happens is when you interact with, well, if you shoot attachments, especially ring airfoils at enemies, they might aggro other guards in the vicinity, which is kind of scary sometimes when that happens. But luckily everything turned out okay for Distro here. Again, another smoke grenade to conceal the position and just to limit visibility for the guards. And here, Distro will spawn the guards in the elevator because for some reason they are spawned in the beginning, then they disappear, and then if I understand and recall correctly, when you whistle, they sort of spawn in back again, or something along those lines. But the way we do it, they wouldn't open if we don't whistle. And
actually, I don't whistle, but the thing is, these guards are actually there at the beginning, and then they despawn when you enter that room, and they come back after you fulfill the objective. You have to pick up the drive, and then go in front of the, like, close to the elevator, then they spawn back in. But shooting or whistling or what, like making noise in general, just makes the elevator open earlier, so it saves a little bit of time. Oops.
Yeah.
This is one of the coolest strats in the whole game.
It's a very satisfying one as well.
Look at that. Look at this spy. Yeah, ragdoll physics are entertaining.
I think it's the first game with ragdoll physics in Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
So now don't be alarmed. This HP is very much calculated. And,
yeah, literally zero.
Knows what he's doing.
Fall damage negation with a specific drop. Kind of cool trick. And there are 2 factions fighting each other, North Koreans versus South Koreans. And I just wait until this guy is shot down, and then I just knife the other guy.
What did you do?
And now I get to a very random part, so I will let director handle it while I focus, because it's also very tricky.
Yeah, of course. So the first thing Distro is going to do is chuck a frag grenade at that billboard over there. This should hopefully take out most of the guys here. Yep, that looks good. And now he's going to take a very careful roll around the tank, because we see a guard in the tank and also down there. Also, the tank aims by itself, so it's a very scary part, but looks like Distro nailed it first try, no issue. And usually, you know, it can have much worse outcomes, which are very, very scary. And preferably, you do want to have at least one sticky shocker for the end section. So, you know, if you can get away with how Distro did it just here, it's definitely the way to go. And okay, that was something
I've
interesting.
never seen that before.
I think that was one of those moments where, you know, it's that glitch. Could it be that?
Yeah, I think so.
To give some context, there's a weird glitch in the game where sometimes the enemy NPCs just have a moment of realization and just 360 no-scope you out of insane distances and for no reason. And, well, maybe there's technically a reason or something, but they just do it for the hell of it, and it's usually a death sentence if that happens. But
Yeah, marathon
second
luck.
time looks much better. And as I'm talking here, Distro's going to be wrapping up the level here pretty soon. That roll here prevented Sam from being demolished by the tank that you see in the distance, in about the right side now. And all Distro needs to do is to call in the airstrike, skip some dialogue, and he'll be good to go for the next level.
Yeah, just skip a lot of dialogues to speed things up. Otherwise, you have to wait for centuries, and the mission ends when the dialogue is over. There we go. Now we enter Bathhouse, and that's a really hard level, so I will hand over to director again because I have to really focus.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those levels where you want maximum concentration and focus. And we start right off the bat with some very pre-calculated movement that is very specific, so that he can retain as much health as possible and the least amount of confrontation. And then as soon as he enters the bathhouse, he is going to take care with ring airfall rounds, this guard. Now, I know that that Distro mentioned that ring airfalls are not really, I guess, preferred. But with the way the loadout here is for this level, we actually want to start off by using ring airfalls so we can leave the more useful attachments for the later part of the levels. And so far it looks pretty good with the airfoil action, no trolling. And what Distro is going to do here is he's going to hack this computer remotely, and that is much faster than, of course, approaching and doing it by hand. So far it looks pretty good, but there are going to be more guards coming right around the corner, and as I've mentioned before, on easy difficulties the guards have very slow reflexes, so the guard didn't really even pay much attention to what's happening. Or like, for example, here, you know, that like you can question how is that even possible. But, you know, this is chaos theory. People just don't hear or don't see at all in this game. And that is very heavily abused in these couple of bathhouse sections. Here we see a turret, but Distro timed his run pretty much to make it in time for the cycle to be on the other side. There are a bunch of guards here that Distro also takes care with sticky shockers, which are obviously much better at doing their thing. And after he takes care of this guard, he's going to enter a vent where we have arguably a bit of a downtime section, but you have to be a little bit vigilant here because here Distro is going to skip a little bit of dialogue as well, but he needs to hear very specific audio cues that tie to the gameplay. So I don't know if you want to talk about it yourself, or if you want, I can also explain this.
I basically just time the dialogue skips and have to listen for the thing, but it's a bit of downtime, as director said correctly. But I can mention the objectives again quickly. The primary objectives we have to do, secondary objectives that are required for 100%. But and then there's the opportunity objectives which are required for 100%. Wait, hold on. You have to do 4 dialogue skips here. And then when I see that guy move his arm, I can do another 2. Which what's the next sequence? But yeah, more about the objectives. Something called bonus objectives. Like if I access this computer there, I'm not doing that now, but in theory, if I accessed it, I will get the bonus objective. And those are actually not tracked anywhere. And you only see them after you finish the mission. The mission report says bonus objective. And those are not required for 100%. So there's an all objectives category, which doesn't require 100% rating, which also requires you to not be spotted, etc. And not kill anyone. So yeah, that's kind of interesting fact. I throw a smoke grenade here, and then a flash grenade. The smoke grenade will cover me, and while these guys are fighting, I can just run through, and I will hand over to director again.
Yeah, that looks cool. Distro's doing very great right now. So what Distro does here is he chucks a flashbang that affects all of the guards there, and he doesn't need to worry about them at all. Now, with wall mines, if you have your gun equipped and you move at like only one direction at a time, so for example, just forwards holding W, you can move relatively quick and not trigger the wall mine, and that's exactly what happened. And now at the very end of the level, there is a scripted sequence here where Shetland, Sam's ex-friend turned villain, is taunting him to give up. However, we know that Sam won't give up. After every bomb defusal, there are guard spawns. So as you can see, there was a guard that spawned by those stairs. So Distro took care of that. And here we have another bomb. After this one, there's going to be a bunch of guards that'll spawn, I think, right around the same position. I don't really recall the exact location of that spawn. But what Distro will do is, as you can see, he has the smoke grenade equipped. He will chuck it at a specific location so that it blocks off visibility of Sam climbing up. And they will be... the guards will be a bit confused about the smoke grenade, but they won't spot Sam going for the third bomb right here. And here, I will... keep it a little bit quiet so Distro can hear the necessary audio cue.
Don't worry about it. You can explain the skip at the end already if you want.
Yeah, so at the very end, if you're familiar with the game, there's like a very climactic moment where there's a standoff between Shetland and Sam, and they kind of argue it out, and then you wouldn't, shoot an old friend, blah, blah, blah. But of course, speedrunners aren't really interested in poetry or drama. We're interested in PBs and good times. So what Distro will do is he will buffer in a pistol shot here, by utilizing the quick save, and basically any action done during the quick save moment will frame perfectly happen after the quick save's over, and that's what allows us to do that shot before the whole sequence is actually loaded in. There's like a 1 frame I guess gap, is it a correct way to say this?
1 frame window, yeah.
Yeah, 1 frame window where the ending sequence hasn't yet started, and we can pre-fire in that moment. So yeah, and it's a relatively recent addition to the any % route, but it's also one of the coolest ones for sure. And as Distro enters the final level, Kokobo, I guess I will give it back to him.
Alright, so you just saw me do an air manipulation. I was loud on purpose, but not loud enough for the gods to hear me. Because if I'm a bit louder, this NPC will walk towards you, which saves a tiny bit of time. But again, Chaos Theory is so optimized that this actually matters. And here we basically do a skip by just jumping down and tanking some damage, but we don't need HP. Over here, the guards LTL equipped, as you hear the dialogue right now. That means that if they shoot me, I will not die, but I will get knocked out and they will interrogate me, which is super, super slow. So we just have to make sure that they don't get a single shot on me. Now we have to basically access this PC before a camera sees me. Because if a camera sees me, the PC goes down into the ground, and that's a huge time loss. And another thing I should mention, I want 4 alarms. If you see in the bottom right, it says 3 right now, but I got the 4th one through this camera. I actually got one through some other means, but I have 4 alarms, that's what matters. And the reason for that is, if you have 4 alarms, the secondary objectives are cancelled entirely, you can't do them anymore. And when that happens, dialogue changes, and basically the dialogue linked to the secondary objectives isn't happening anymore, and that saves time because I have less dialogues to skip in this specific event. I think it's 5 dialogue skips less. I'm not sure, but yeah, I just skip a bunch of dialogue casually. This is super long, but we literally just skip every single line.
Yeah, and as Distro said, you know, in chaos theory, every optimization counts, and that's definitely not an overstatement. And now here, Distro preferably wants no guards on the right side, so we'll see how that pans out in just a moment. Perfect, no guards on the right side, so Distro can just quickly move towards an elevator that'll take him downstairs to the final set of objectives. And this is, you know, a cool downtime section before the final stretch. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on whether you want to be quick or you want to have a bit of a chill time, we can't find a way to speed this elevator ride down. There's no way to clip out. Also, one thing overall that I guess I should mention is that compared to other Splinter Cell speedruns, Chaos Theory is exclusively very, I guess, very stable and very patched. There aren't really any out of bounds. You didn't see any out of bounds action happening here or any insanely major sequence breaking tricks.
That's actually kind of funny because that's only true for the campaign. In solo. In co-op, it's completely broken if you watch the speedrun, and also in the versus mode, it's completely broken.
Yeah, and you know, I guess if I had to very briefly and maybe not very detailed summarize how the speedrun goes, it's basically insanely optimized fast gameplay with some extra spice to it. Now here, what Distro will do is he will disable that turret camera with an EMP attachment to the pistol. And he also took care of those 2 guards. He will plant a bomb here, an explosive, on these servers. And you can detonate them only from a certain distance. So right here. And with some precise movement, with a roll, Distro will pass those 2 guards completely undetected. And for the end here, we have a final standoff between the other main villain. God, I forgot his last name. It's at the tip of my tongue.
Otomo.
Yeah. So General Otomo here, and he's here playing a game of charades, as we can see.
Yeah, because we skipped the dialogues. That actually saves some seconds of animation. I don't remember how much it actually saves. I think 8 seconds? I don't remember.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we can skip the audio part of the dialogue, but the animation still, you know, kind of have to go through.
Yeah, just pointing at us, he's being rude. I'm gonna look away because I'm scared.
Yeah, because
he's committing Sudoku.
Yeah. I wonder if he, you know, if he subscribed to those, you know, like crossword magazines or something. But yeah, anyway, Distro is doing the final objective here, and he's gonna save Otomo from doing any more Sudoku. There are better activities than that, I'm sure. And with that, Distro will, Sam will pick up Otomo, and there's only one objective left to do, which is to plant an explosive on the window. And after that, there's going to be a timer, which will be the timer
Next time you're going on the
victory.
mission, I'm making up the crazy plan.
All right. By the way, before anyone complains in the comment section, I know it's seppuku because I've seen other people make that joke, and then people in the chat like or in the comments are like, "Do you not know it's called seppuku? What the hell? It's on Sudoku." And you know,
Seriously, man.
I've seen that before. It's kind of funny. But yeah, timer is coming up, and when the screen fades to black. There we go. Yo.
Yay! Congrats.
Thanks.
Aw, man. Final rating wasn't 69.
1% off. Oh,
1% too
the game
good.
closed automatically. Okay, cool. But yeah, I guess my camera's clipping out. Nice. Anyway, I don't know why the game crashed there, but fair enough. At least it crashed at the end when it was over already. I would say thanks for watching this run. It was great fun. Thanks to ShotsFired for allowing us to do this event. And thanks to the whole speedrun community, especially also the Splinter speedrun community. It's a wholesome group of people, so thanks. And director, thanks for the co-commentary. It was really helpful and really informative.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And yeah, I think I'll just still mention that there is still a Tom Clancy Splinter Cell Conviction run coming up. Now, this game was very glitch free. No other bugs and stuff. Conviction is a bit different. Let's just put it this way. Chaos Theory solo least broken Splinter Cell game. Conviction, most broken one. So if you like glitches, you like Splinter Cell, you should really watch that one. All right, so thanks. And that would be it. Have fun with the rest of the runs.